Today, we discover 10 jaw-dropping accidents that happened at the zoo. Number 10. Eaten alive at the zoo. We start off with a major zoo accident that happened in the UK in May of 2016. An employee of the park named Rosa King was cleaning the tiger's cage around 11 AM when unexpectedly one of the beasts entered the cage. Nobody actually saw how it all went down, but the visitors to the zoo later reported that the caretaker of the animal told them to run away. One witness said it was complete chaos. There were 3 ambulances, a rescue helicopter, and a whole bunch of police. Unfortunately, the woman died. Those who know her remembered Rosa as follows. She wasn't just a caretaker at the Hamerton Zoo, she was the Hamerton Zoo. Number 9. Suicide by cat. 2016 must have been the worst zoo year in history. At the exact same time as the Hamerton accident, a lion and lioness were shot at the Metropolitan Zoo in Chile. 2 suicidal people invaded the catwalk, undressed, and started provoking the big cat. The animals finally attacked one man, but zoo workers were quick to shoot the lion, hence the other man survived. The whole situation shed light on the quality of the zoo. Predatory cats had actually escaped from their cages at other times due to defective electronic fences. They even killed 4 giraffes. Number 8. Easy, tiger. Here comes another story in which you might say that an animal with instinct had fallen prey to moronic humans. On Christmas of 2007, a group of friends went to the zoo in San Francisco and started teasing the caged animals. They focused their provocation on a 4-year-old Siberian tiger, shouting and throwing stones at him. Well, they probably didn't expect it, but the angry tiger managed to escape the catwalk and attack the men. They tried to run away, but it was too late, and unfortunately, one of them actually died. The others were severely injured. The cat was killed by police. Investigation showed that the fence was too low for what was required. It's starting to seem like cats and humans just don't mix. Number 7. Gorillas and babies. This is one of the most famous stories in recent years. A 17-year-old lowland gorilla, which was a proud representative of a critically endangered species, died from a bullet after a 3-year-old boy climbed a fence, crawled through the bushes, and fell into the cage more than 4 meters below. After about 10 minutes of touching and tapping the baby, the gorilla was finally shot, ultimately making worldwide headlines. Number 6. The human cat toy. Another accident involving a white tiger occurred on September in 2014 in New Delhi, India. Unfortunately, once again, we have the case of a 20-year-old victim who lacked common sense. According to the witness who recorded the whole episode by his phone, the boy passed through an iron railing and entered the catwalk. Even though the guard warned him to move away, the boy then sat down with his hands folded for a few minutes while the animal was watching him. The tiger finally swatted the guy once with his paw, injuring his neck and shoulder, but it didn't end there. The tiger caught him fatally by the neck and started to chow down. Unfortunately, the 20-year-old man died on the spot. Number 5. The tragic story of Ziggy the elephant. This story would be perfect material for a Disney fairy tale, except it doesn't have a happy ending. Ziggy the elephant arrived on a ship from India to Chicago in the 1930s. At that time, the methods of training were totally different than today's standards. In 1941, Ziggy attacked his guardian, Slim Lewis, who was so thin that he slipped off the elephant and managed to escape. After this incident, dark times came for Ziggy, because he spent the next 32 years chained to a stable. The only people in the animal's corner were local children, who managed to raise enough money to build a modern, safe enclosure for Ziggy. The elephant finally left its prison in 1973, but died just 2 years later at the age of 58. Number 4. She's a man-eater. Let this story be a warning to all of us. Always follow the instructions of the staff when animals are around. The protagonist of this story was visiting Wild World in Beijing back in 2016. The tragic event occurred when the woman's car crossed a Siberian tiger's section, where wild cats can move freely and visitors can park nearby, or even leave their cars to get a closer look. The woman decided to change places with her husband, who was behind the wheel at the time, and so she got out of the car for a moment and was instantly attacked by a man-eating tiger. Her husband and mother set off to help her, and amazingly, the woman was saved. But her face was deformed as a result of her injury. But that's not the worst of it. Unfortunately, the woman's mother was also attacked and died on the spot. Number 3. Drowning of penguins. An unusual but equally sad event took place at the zoo in Calgary, Canada in December 2016. 7 dead animals were found in the penguin homestead, and autopsies revealed that they were drowned. The zoo's caretakers have no idea what might have happened, and quoted, "We're talking about marine animals, well adopted for being underwater. So if the penguin drowned, it must seem that they have been in a state of panic or stress." It's not the first time something like this has happened in a Canadian zoo. Another incident recalls an otter who suffocated as the result of its caretaker giving it pants to play with. Number 2. Stoning of a crocodile in Tunisia. An extremely brutal event took place at the beginning of 2017 in the capital of Tunisia. Without a clear reason, a group of tourists started throwing stones at a crocodile, which could not defend itself, and the animal died as a result of brain hemorrhage. Photos reveal the enclosure totally littered by rocks, and a witness quoted, "It's just terrible. You cannot imagine what animals go through because some of the visitors' behavior is so poor. People leave garbage and plastic bags everywhere. They throw stones at lions and hippos, and they seem to have no respect for animals." Number 1. Free Tilly. Let me tell you about an orca that has spent most of its life in captivity and received mass attention back in 2013 after being featured in the Blackfish documentary about life behind bars. At the age of 2 in 1983, Tilly was caught off the coast of Iceland and spent the rest of his life in water parks. However, Tilly didn't play nice as the orca was involved in as many as 3 fatal accidents. The most famous one happened in 2010 when, after a performance at SeaWorld in Orlando, Florida, when Tilly elected to drown his coach. Surprisingly, even after this event, Tilly the killer continued to entertain audiences until April of 2012, eventually dying as the result of a bacterial infection in 2017. That's it for today's episode of Exit 10. Leave us a comment, hit that subscribe button, smash the bell, and we will see you next week.